Hello, San Francisco, and welcome once again to the Angelic Troublemakers. I'm your host, Alan Jones, and on today's program, it's like two rats in a cake. Now, I'm going to be talking about the Golden State Warriors arena in San Francisco. I believe, or I see, this Warriors arena will not take place. It will not be built in San Francisco. I'm not making a prediction. I'm basically um, saying that this whole situation can be described as two rats in a cake. And if you'll just imagine the Golden State Warriors who are baking the cake, and the cake is shaped like the arena, once someone cuts into it, two rats pop out. Well, that's basically where I'm coming in with the two rats. The two rats that I say are here, with all due respect to city government and the mayor of San Francisco. I believe that this issue of the Warriors coming here, uh, I smell a rat. And the rat is in the cake. And the rat in this case is Ed Lee. The other rat is not the Warriors, but the National Basketball Association. Now, I do not have enough time to describe um, both, but I'm going to take from the position of our city government here in San Francisco and how it is positioning itself uh, to take from the city of Oakland uh, this arena project that I say uh, will end up on the ballot. Now, people see what they want to see, and people believe what they want to believe. But in this situation, I say that we need to step back and take a real good look at what exactly is happening here. It's not good enough just to take rats out of the cake you are baking. It's not. You got to get rid of the whole thing. And I'm saying that when Mayor Ed Lee proposed uh, this as his legacy project, I'm saying that he put his legacy over the city of Oakland. And that I just cannot uh, imagine is how you treat your neighbors. Now, though I say that this will end up on the ballot, don't tell anyone because I don't think that the Warriors or City Hall know it. But the fact is, this arena will not be built in San Francisco. So I am recommending people don't get their hopes up. I know of the millions of dollars that have been already invested into this plan. I am aware of the fact that the Warriors have a training program for the construction where they're employing young uh, minorities mostly, training them to work on this arena. However, we have to look at this situation from a perspective of respect. Now, when you look at this arena project, the one thing that you have to consider, and that is the budget of San Francisco is $9.6 billion. The budget for Oakland, California is $1.2 billion. The tourism for San Francisco is $9 billion a year. The tourism for Oakland is $800 million a year. So, if that's not enough to let you know where we're at here, think of it this way. You have 10 marbles, and your best friend who lives next door has one marble. Yours are fairly good looking marbles, but your friend has one beautiful marble. And you are envious of his one beautiful marble. So you've contrived or concocted a situation where you stole your next door neighbor's marble just so you can have it with your collection. Well, that's exactly what the city of San Francisco is doing to the city of Oakland. The beautiful marble is the Golden State Warriors at this time. And I'm saying that even though the ownership of the Golden State Warriors were looking to relocate to San Francisco, Mayor Ed Lee jumped in and he helped them in every way, shape, and form, and all the city government behind them, just to bring the Warriors here. Ed Lee famously said he would never apologize for snatching another team from another city because the same was done to us. Speaking of the 49er move out of the city. Well, I've said before on this program, it was a childish statement. And instead of taking from Oakland, I'm saying that we should be helping Oakland to thrive. When everybody talks about the Bay Area, the two cities that have the most connection are San Francisco and Oakland. Sure, there's 9 Bay that make up the area that's called Bay Area, but San Francisco and Oakland are the prime cities, and I'm saying that instead of trying to take from Oakland, we need to help build up Oakland. This is an issue of respect. And I'm saying that no self-respecting San Franciscan would just want to participate in snatching from someone else just to make San Francisco look better. It's the same. Everyone's favorite city, San Francisco. Now, that may be outdated for some, but really, did we get to be everyone's favorite city by taking from others? No. People do want to come to San Francisco. They love this area to visit. But far as San Francisco is concerned, we now have a mayor that is willing to take from another city just to make him look better and to build on his legacy. Well, quite frankly, you've heard of the term Robin Hood, steal from the poor, the rich, and give to the poor. Well, what Mayor Ed Lee is doing is he's stealing from the poor and giving to the rich. I would reverse that and say, instead of Robin Hood, I'm saying that's hood robbing. And I believe that San Francisco will not support the Warriors' move to the city if it were on a ballot. And keep in mind that the area in which this arena is going to be, is proposed to be, is Mission Bay. Now, Mission Bay, which you're looking at, most of, you can give credit to Mayor Willie Brown for helping or spearheading the development of Mission Bay. But what people do not know, and I myself did not know until a year ago, was San Francisco is known for being very creative with its biotech industry. And UCSF is planted in the Mission Bay area, and it's all because Willie Brown, when he was mayor, he saw a way, with the help of some others, Bruce Spalding, the visionary that I say, who was commanded that he find an area where a lot of the work that the UCSF stuff was being brought together. I mean, they were trying to find another place for it to where they can have more centralized, or instead of spreading it all out over the city, they wanted an area to bring a lot of the technology that was, the sign of the times. And UCSF picked Mission Bay. They got the help from Mayor Willie Brown at the time and a few others. And then they start the building. According to Mayor, the Honorable Mayor Willie Brown, Mission Bay has produced more than 30,000 jobs by its biotechnology. And we should look at the fact that DNA, which is best described as being the blueprint of life, the biotech industry is the new gold rush. And there is a group called Mission Bay Alliance, and they are fighting to have this area preserved for more biotech. Let's just admit it. That's what they're wanting to do. Their approach, though, in my opinion, had the NIMBY attitude. And I just don't think that it was the proper one. The NIMBY attitude, not in my backyard, has a racist connotation that I just cannot go along with. But they have a real legitimate argument. Number one, common sense tells you not to build an arena right next door to a hospital, especially an arena with 18,000 seats. And though some would reasonably think that no way on earth would UCSF have decided to build this hospital right next door to the Warriors arena if it was already here. But think of it another way. San Francisco has 5 brand new hospitals within the last few years. I mean, I can't even name them. Of course, there's the UCSF, uh, which is right across the street from this proposed arena. But then there's the Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital, just completed, just opened. There's the Chinese hospital that just opened. On Van Ness, that's a new hospital that's going up. There's one in the Mission District, the St. Luke's Hospital is moving right along. All these new hospitals, there's probably 18, 20 hospitals in the city. Well, just ask yourself, which one of you who may need medical attention for yourself or your loved one would like to have an 18,000 seat arena right next door to your community hospital? No. This is a poor ideal, but when people are so rich that they don't use common sense, which is possible, you don't have to have common sense to be a billionaire, but when these people really want something so bad, they'll stick it anywhere just to say, hey, we're in San Francisco. And this is not right, because you're taking from another city and you are disrespecting not only the city of Oakland, but there's another disrespect. That disrespect is from the biotech industry. Look at here. You see these bananas? Well, I just learned that all bananas that you consume are genetically modified. Why? Because in the 50s, 1950s, there was something called Panama disease. It wiped out the entire banana crop. And if it were not for DNA technology and what it has brought to us, we wouldn't have any bananas. Now, I also learned that the one item that is the biggest seller at Walmart is bananas. So that should tell you how important bananas are. But the fact is, the people in Mission Bay are some of the groups of people who are scientists working to help us navigate through industry and to make medical breakthroughs. And we need to respect these people, not look at our own legacy to plot in the middle of their design. The people who saw fit to build out Mission Bay as a biotech area should be praised, not spit on. And I'm saying that I smell a rat with the approach that Mayor Ed Lee is using, and the people who just want to have the Warriors here at any cost. Well, as a longtime San Franciscan, since 1960, I am not into taking from others. If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to give help to others. And I'm saying that the Mission Bay area of San Francisco, which is the epicenter of biotechnology here in this area, I'm saying that we need to respect the fact that there are people who are trying to prolong, save, cure disease, and they want a little area of San Francisco, which they just asking, wait a minute. Now, there are some who were saying that it's ridiculous that they want to bank the property. Well, I get their uh, argument. I really do. However, I disagree. Sometimes when you have something that is so important, we need to make accommodations for this industry to thrive here in San Francisco. And I'm saying that the voters of San Francisco, once they realize what is going on and what disrespect the mayor has for the biotech industry by plopping this uh, cake with rats in it in Mission Bay, I'm saying that no. San Francisco needs to throw. Have you seen people dump a cake in the garbage can? That's what they need to do. And when you really look at the fact that um, the mayor has signed a deal with one of the people who was most influential far as another area of San Francisco. There's a deal making going on, and it's troubling to know that this deal for a biotech facility to be erected closer to San Francisco General or a Zuckerberg, the writing's on the wall. Somebody who opposed this project, the chancellor of the UCSF, who, after the groundbreaking in January for the old Warriors Arena here, you're seeing him earlier in February signing a deal with the mayor for a new facility at Zuckerberg San Francisco General. And it just smells like something's not right here. And so when you look at all of the things that are going on, you first have to understand that something is not right. Now, I also learned recently that how Genentech came to be. It was a race between scientists in San Francisco and scientists on the other part of the country to come up with a synthetic insulin was their first chore. And the race to come up with that was won by Genentech. But Genentech, which stands for genetic engineering technology, was formed by a couple of gentlemen who, they one was a scientist, a broke scientist, by the name of Herb Boyer, and then there was another gentleman, venture capitalist by the name of Robert Swanson, and they saw what was going on, and they came up with Genentech. And then after Genentech was up and running, they end up coming up with this uh, synthetic insulin that I'm most impressed about. Now, I can't describe all that I know and have heard about it because I'm not a scientist and I just hear certain things. But the one thing that I do know, and that is in the early 30s, or I don't know when it was, insulin was produced from the slaughter of pigs. And so you had to slaughter a whole bunch of pigs just to get a little bit of insulin. But when this synthetic insulin came around and the millions of people that it has helped, and I myself was just told by my doctor recently I'm pre diabetic. So for me, I thank and I appreciate the scientific community who are really working to help in any way, shape, or form people, you know, live better lives. And for the Warriors, I understand the ownership of the Warriors from a business standpoint wanting to come to San Francisco. I get it. I don't even have beef with them. You know, sure, it's greedy, but I just I think that any owner of a sports franchise should have the right to move wherever they want to make the most buck. But it's how you do it. And the how in this situation with Mayor Ed Lee looking for his own legacy is willing to steal a marble from Oakland, California, just to help his legacy. I can't. No. If y'all want to build this arena, you go right ahead. But I'll tell you one thing. You heard from me. I don't agree with it. And I am a Warrior fan. I've been a Warrior fan since 1975. And quite frankly, if they do move to San Francisco, I'll have to find another team because I refuse to root for and celebrate this type of business where it is so cutthroat, you know, and where mayors, instead of trying to be servants of the people, are serving their selves at the expense of people. And that's what I see Ed Lee is doing. And I say that with the fear of God because I know God wants me to uh, show respect for the people in political power. I do. I just disagree with this situation enough to where I am going to join forces with whoever to oppose this uh, arena here in San Francisco. And I'm saying that I'm confident. And why am I confident? Because not only is it the rat of City Hall popping out of this cake, but the NBA, it too should be dragged on the carpet for its involvement. Now, I am not going to discuss today the NBA aspect, but it's ugly. I will discuss that after this becomes a ballot measure. But I'm saying don't even be a bit surprised if the thing whole blows up, all of it. Good night.